Welcome to another exciting episode of
ZoeTv.
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 It's like almost September. We're navigating the summer. We're like at the finish line.
Yeah, you think so?
I think at least on the calendar, it's going to be fall.
On the calendar, but we know better.
We do know better, but I will tell you, it's a little cloudy the last week or so.
I know,
like, it's
and
nice.
Yes, love that.
It's so refreshing. And you know what's refreshing?
What?
When the calendar turns to September, kids are back in school,
and
our kids, our residents are back in
favorite
school.
Kids. Yes.
We love it. I mean, you want to talk about excited? This upcoming curriculum, it's a daily grind that you and I are working on.
Yes.
The books are going to be out very soon.
Yep.
But I will say, and there's more to come on the way we're approaching this semester, but we're bringing in some new models and some new ways of bringing you guys content that I know we're excited about.
We can't wait.
We just...
Yeah, it's going to
so
be fun.
It's
really
so
fun.
exciting. So we're going to have a lot more about that. We might have a special episode dedicated to unveiling and talking through so much of what's coming with the curriculum, because it is going to be different.
It is.
But it's going to be not better or worse, just different. We just wanted it to feel different.
Well, after 5 years.
Yes.
5 years.
Yeah, and you know, our favorite thing all year, we agree on this, is the graduation.
We love it.
It's such a big deal. So
it's a huge deal. All right. We got to talk about our first guest.
Our
first guest is spectacular. And we love our residents. We love everybody. We love all our guests. The perspective of this one and the stuff that she's gone through in her season of life right now and her way of overcoming so much, I know is going to resonate with everybody watching. I think that not if your story mimics this or at this level, but pieces will resonate. In overcoming hurdles through sheer will and faith is everything.
And to still smile and sparkle as she does.
Oh my gosh. So with that, we're going to talk to Miss Gloria Bond.
Hello,
Gloria,
everybody.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Oh my gosh, we are so lucky to have you. Why don't we start with just who you are, where on campus you live, and just a little bit of your background.
Okay. My name is Gloria Bond, and I live at Providence Place. I've been here for a little over a year and a half. And I was very sick when I first got here. I remember, couldn't forget that pain. And I'm so glad that and fortunate that I got a chance to be here, because my sister-in-law literally followed me from the hospital in her car and brought me over here. She talked to Max, and she said, you need to get put in a safe place, good environment where they're going to take good care of you. So she brought me here. She talked
How long ago was that?
Max, I think his name was Max.
Max.
It was back in February 6th,
Okay.
2022.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, and I, had, I've been in so many car accidents, unbelievable, but I've actually been in 10 car accidents in my lifetime.
No.
And I never got hurt, thank God, or broken until these last few that I had. The first one that was real bad was the one with my husband, and we were driving right here on 67th Avenue in Olive. And
Right here, right at the corner.
yeah, right in the corner. And it was, basically his fault. He couldn't stop at the red light, and he punched it, and the car just, we just hit someone. And it was bad. He had to get evacuated from the car.
Okay.
And they used those jaws of life or whatever, And I remember parts of it, and I remember hearing that helicopter so close. There was the big field right there, right in the corner. And a good friend of mine, her mother lived there. And I remember seeing her mom there. And she seen me, and then she ran home and told her daughters, your friend's been in a bad car accident. She's outside right there in the corner. And they're like, it was like midnight maybe, 1 o'clock in the morning.
Oh.
Yeah. And so we got hurt pretty bad. He, like I said, he was in a coma for 16 and a half years.
Wow.
And I suffered with chronic migraine headaches for the same amount of time. 16 and a half
So
years.
where was he at for those 16 years? Where?
He went, okay, we were both over at, it's the county hospital, but it's now Brazos Central. No, it's not Central. It's, I forget the name,
That's
but
okay.
it's
Yeah.
the hospital
county
on
hospital.
16th Street, yeah.
Yes.
So we were there at first, and he was in intensive care, and they had put me in a room close to where he was at. I had a big injury right here. I had a big hole in my hand here, and I got really lucky that I didn't really get hurt so bad.
Wow,
Yeah.
16 and a half years.
Yeah, yeah, and it was bad. It was really bad for me. It was like horrible, and we had a 2.5-year-old son.
Oh.
I had to take care of him and try to take care of myself at the same time. With all those headaches, it was unbelievable.
And anybody who's had migraines know.
Oh,
They
God.
just knock you down.
I never knew what a migraine was
Yeah,
until I started getting them. They're horrible.
they are
I
horrible.
wanted to bang my head on the wall a few times. I didn't know what to do anymore.
Right.
Yeah,
I actually wrote all the remedies that people would give me
right.
to do.
Right.
Different things, so many odd,
Yes.
remedies that they have. And I've tried just about all of them that they gave me, and nothing worked for me. Nothing. I went to the doctor, and they didn't want to put me on medication. They thought I was there for medication, and I was trying to get something to help me. I
Yes.
explained to them what was going on. And so they didn't help me much at the doctor's office, so I started trying different things on my own. And what I found was when I sat by the aquarium, the fish aquarium, and I closed my eyes, I lay on the couch, and I just listened to the bubbles.
Oh, wow.
And that was my meditation right there.
Wow,
And it worked.
that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I think there really is something to that white noise or
Yeah.
blue noise or purple noise. There's so many different, but I think it makes a big difference in your settling and
Yes.
letting your brain relax.
Right. And it did. It helped me a lot.
Wow.
And I would get headaches. I didn't know when I was getting them. So I started studying them. And then I noticed that right before I got a headache, I would start seeing like these little wiggly line in my vision.
Yes.
Little wiggly line.
So you knew what was coming when
So
that
I
happened.
knew, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Yes.
knew that I had like 10 minutes.
Okay.
So if I was out somewhere, I had to hurry up and get back home.
Wow.
I couldn't
Okay,
get
so-
a headache on the street.
So you are dealing with so much,
Yes.
little kid. How was that transition of raising your child? Like
Yes.
how
Oh,
does
it was
that? How
hard.
did that look?
It was hard, very hard. I have a big family.
Okay.
Thank God they're, a big loving family, and they help take care of them.
Okay.
They
So you had a
tell
lot
me
of
what-
support system in
yes,
place with
yes.
family. Okay.
And how old is he now?
He's 43.
Oh,
He's
wow,
43.
you don't look old enough to.
Right?
He's 43, and he has my 2 granddaughters.
Ah,
They both graduated from Glendale High School.
okay.
One's 22 and one's 21.
So everybody's right here.
That's very
Oh,
cool.
I love that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to fast forward. So you had this terrible accident. You were recovering.
Yes.
Then what was the next shoe that fell? Like in your.
I started praying, just praying. Every day I prayed. Every day. All through the whole day I pray. Talk to God and ask Him, why?
Yeah.
What are you doing to me, It was really difficult, but I knew that I would accomplish it. I knew I would fight it and get it, take care of it somehow. I just
Right.
had to find the right, remedy to
Yeah.
get me, feeling better.
Right.
So I started writing and releasing stuff out of my head. And I used to write like real super big.
Yes.
And just write and write and write. I mean, no one could read it but me, right?
Right.
Sometimes I couldn't even read my own writing because
But it
it was
was
so
just for
bad.
you anyway,
But it was
right?
a release that I
Right.
get out every time. And so I started, he told me to get a Bible. And the most miraculous thing happened. I didn't have a Bible with me. We had one at my mom's, but I didn't have my own Bible. So I was just praying. I was like in a dark place. It was really bad. And I told him, well, how can I, study the Bible if I don't have one? What do I do? So I just kept writing and positive thinking over and over, no negativity, just positive. And I'd write all the positive things that I could do, even though I was feeling so bad. I mean, I would just snap out of it, make myself snap out of it, and just start writing all the things I want to do, that I like to do, if I live, because
Oh, bless your heart.
I didn't know where I was going.
Right.
It was bad, really bad. I'm just so fortunate to be here, and lucky that I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I might not be able to walk right now at this time in my life, but I feel good. I feel good, and mentally, I'm just keeping myself busy.
Yes.
Positive thinking. So what I started doing was reading. I wouldn't read a whole book. I would just read. I just asked God to lead me wherever He wanted me to go. And I said, help me to help myself to continue thinking positive, because I think that's the key to the whole thing,
Yep.
But even if it isn't, I'm still going to have the positive vibe all the time. So I started reading, and I started reading chapters on things, necessities in life that I'm going to need to raise my son. So I didn't want to go to school because I was sick and I couldn't afford it. And so I thought maybe I'll just go to the library and start checking books out, because we had a library card. And then I thought, no, because if I go to the library and get books, I don't know when I'm going to be able to return them. If I'm going to return them on time, they're going to find me. I don't have money for that. So I started going to the thrift store. Every time I think of something positive that I wanted to do to help raise my son, I'd go out and do whatever I had to do at that time and get it over and done with. And the amazing thing would happen to me, I'd go to the thrift store, I'd go to the books. They just called me over there.
Yeah.
I'd go to the books, and a book would bold out to me. And amazingly, it was the book that I needed to study what I was looking for.
Right.
Little did I know it was the answer, that the question I had. And so I was amazed by all the answers I got.
Yes.
Amazing.
It was amazing. It was so cool.
So let's transition to what made you get to Providence Place. What was
Right.
what was the incident that happened there?
Okay, like I said, I've been in a lot of car accidents. And when I got to, was it December 14th, 2020, I was going in the cab. I was going to get in the cab because I was on my way to the urgent care, because I had a spider bite and it looked infected to me. So I called my doctor and I told her. And that's just a whole nother story right there, because I was getting autoimmune drips for something else when I fell. It's all related to my injuries. Anyways, I fell down trying to get in the cab. He swiftly took my walker away from me. And
The cab driver.
yes, the cab driver. And I had nothing to hang on to. And I'm like, I was standing in a bad spot. I was like right on the hill where the driveway is going down to the street.
Right.
And I slipped, and I couldn't hang on to anything, and I fell on my right side. But besides me, getting hurt that day, I was hit by a car in 2008 on the property that I live. And I went to throw the garbage out one day. On the way back, I seen the lights of a vehicle coming. So I crossed the street. There was only one way in, one way out. So I crossed because I knew she was going to come out on this side. So all of a sudden, I didn't see the lights anymore. And I'm wondering, what happened to that car? I wonder what happened to that car. That's the last thing I remember. Next thing I know is I'm in the medium full of dirt and leaves and stuff.
So you didn't even remember that you got hit?
No. I didn't feel it. I don't.
Well, that's a blessing.
I don't remember it.
Right.
I just remember when I woke up, I was in the medium, and I hear somebody crying and, talking to my niece. I heard my niece's voice. It happened to be one of my niece's best friends that lived close to me.
That hit you?
Yes.
Oh.
And she was crying and telling my niece that she had run over me. And my niece is like, just telling her a whole bunch of stuff. And what are you thinking, Jenny? Her name was Jenny. She was super nice. She was such a nice person. But it was an accident, I got hit and I fell and I ended up breaking my pelvic bone. So I ended up going to the hospital and they told me I had a broken pelvic bone. And they gave me Tylenol with codeine or something. I was like, and I don't like those. They don't, I
Yeah.
don't care for them at all. But I got really sick, so I called in the morning to work, and I told them, that I was hit by a car and that I wasn't feeling well that morning. And so I stayed home for a few weeks, and then I had an appointment with my pain management doctor, and they sent me to a place. Okay, so much in my mind right now.
No, you're all right.
He sent me to a chiropractor. I started going to the chiropractor and then the chiropractor told me that it was my back. That's why I was getting all the headaches because of my back. And I had a knot in there or something. It was a nerve, a pinched nerve or something. And yeah, my shoulder blade did hurt, So when they told me that, I just tried to work it. But then when I fell and got hit by the car, it all came back to me. I started feeling pains and I didn't feel for years and years. And I'm like, please, God, don't let me get any more migraines, whatever you do, please. I miraculously had an episode where I was blessed at Saguaro Lake one day, and that's a whole nother story. I've been wanting to write my story.
I was going to say.
But I just haven't, I'm just not there yet, you know
Yep.
what I mean?
I do.
And everything's happening the way it should be.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling better and I'm getting a lot better. So I lost my job. I ended up losing my job after I had my back surgery. They replaced my L5. They fused my bone. I have 2 sets of screws on my back. They put a plate on my back. So when I fell 2020, it just automatically just
Right.
threw me out of whack. Everything. I was just spazzing out. I never even knew what a spasm was.
And you were actually trying to get in the cab to go to the hospital.
Yes.
So
yeah.
did you make it?
Yes, I made it. I made it to the urgent care.
Okay, so he got you in the.
He got me in, but it was only for the spider bite, and I had told him what happened, and he told me, "Well, you need to go see your doctor, and tell him what you just told me."
Right.
So I did, and they put me on medication, and I was on oxycodone for so long. I mean, after that, I didn't feel a thing anymore. I was good, until I had the accident in 2020.
Okay.
In front of my mom's house. I was staying at my parents' home.
Okay.
And then that really messed me up. I tried to stay with the family for Christmas, wanted to be there with the kids and all. But COVID,
Yes.
COVID was live at that time.
Right.
So,
I mean, no, that's what you think, isn't it? When you
Yeah.
think of 2020.
oh my gosh. it was
Everything
like,
changed.
Yeah. So I ended up going to the hospital on the 31st, which is my little sister Elizabeth's birthday, because I couldn't do it no more. I stayed there for Christmas, and I toughed it out then, but I didn't come out of my room or anything because all the little kids were in there.
Yeah.
And I always think kids are germs, It's, like, it's just something that I know that the kids get into.
Because when they
stuff,
get
right?
sick, you get sick. We know
Yeah.
that one, yes.
So, I ended up going to the emergency room on the 31st of December, and I went to Baptist Hospital, which is now Brazos Central,
Right.
and it was packed with people. Everybody had COVID.
Yes.
Oh, my
yes.
gosh. I didn't know what to do. They're telling me, we don't have a room for you. We can't. And I'm like, what do I do? I'm sick. I'm very hurt. And I get these, spasms and uncontrollably. I don't know what to do. I need some help. So they did find a little corner. They put me in this little corner. And I stayed there till 5 5 in the morning or something like that. And then they took me to Scottsdale, Abrazo, where I had my MRI done. And from there, I went back to the hospital, and the hospital sent me to a place called Bella Vita.
Okay.
I ended up getting COVID and pneumonia there, on top of everything else. So I didn't know which was which. You know, I didn't know which was the COVID, which was my spasms. Or,
Yeah.
You know, I was just a
And
mess.
did you get very sick from
No,
COVID?
no, I was just spazzing more than anything.
Oh, okay.
I don't really remember being sick COVID.
Good.
The only way that I knew that I had it was because I couldn't taste.
Yeah,
Okay.
I lost my
yes.
taste buds. Yeah.
That,
So
I forgot about that.
Yeah,
in the
so I knew
beginning.
that that was part of the COVID. But from there, I stayed there at at the center. They call them sniffs.
Yes.
So I stayed there for a whole month, and I walked out of there. I walked out of the place. They sent me home with the hospital bed and a wheelchair. And after that, I just kept getting sick through the whole year.
And you
I-
went home with your parents?
Yes, I
Yeah.
stayed home with my mom. My dad was already gone, so it was just me and mom. And then I just, stayed there because I live in a townhouse.
Yeah.
I had a 3-bedroom, 2-bath townhouse, and I couldn't climb no more. My bathroom was upstairs, shower, so I was living in the living room in my house. So I just ended up going to my mom's.
Right.
It was easier. She had a walk-in closet.
Yes.
I mean, a shower.
Oh, that
I walked
makes-
right in there,
Right.
and it was perfect for me. But then I had a fall, and I just couldn't get up after that.
in
it was a
2020.
20,
So then-
21.
21. Okay, so what happened between 21 and you moving in here?
I was in and out of the hospital for different things, and then they found that I had a cracked neck
Okay.
and a spinal injury, so I had emergency surgery done. And then I ended up going to Haven. I stayed there. I had a bad infection. I was on medication, and I stayed there for 6 months. And after that, I went back to my mom's because I thought, what am I doing here? They're not doing therapy for me or anything, and I need to move around. I need to do stuff. I just didn't realize how bad I was. Nobody ever told me that I was paralyzed, that I couldn't walk. After all the CT scans,
Yes.
the X-rays, all that kind of stuff, nobody gave me any update on it. So I didn't know what was wrong with me. So anyways, I got sick at my mom's, and I went back to the hospital in January of 2021.
Okay.
And my sister-in-law, I called her, and I told her I was going back to the hospital again. And she's like, oh, my gosh, because I was in and out all year. And nobody would tell me what was wrong with me. I didn't know what was wrong with me. So she got a hold of Mac, or whatever his name is, Max or Matt, whatever his name is. And he had a room for me.
Oh.
So I came over here. I was so sick. I didn't even know where I was at times. I just knew I was in the hospital,
Yeah.
in a room, and
Right.
I couldn't do anything.
But you were here, and
Yes.
that was the first step in getting into where you are
Yes.
now.
God
So
does work
let's-
in a mysterious
We only got a couple
way.
It's
minutes left.
exhausting.
I want to get us to what we've been doing.
Okay.
Yes.
And so, you got involved in the neuropathy program.
Yes.
And-
First, it was the exercise program Monday and Friday.
Yes.
And then that was for a month or so.
Yep.
And then after that, I got into the neuropathy class, and I'm so glad I did.
So could you feel your feet before?
I could feel my legs,
Okay.
and I could feel my feet. This one is a little bit number than this one.
Okay. And so the neuropathy has really helped wake those
Yes,
up. That's
yeah.
what everybody's
I
telling
can
us.
move my knees. I couldn't move my knees before. I was so stiff.
Yeah.
And my arm, I have reach now. I couldn't stretch my arm out.
When she started, what do you think your range of motion of that arm was, little guy?
I
Just
could-
barely joystick
yeah,
and the way
I
the
could
position of the
barely-
chair.
yeah.
Now, where is it at?
Now I can reach all the way across the table.
Oh my gosh.
in the
Okay, so what
cafeteria.
helped to that? Was that the workout with
all the
Mark
work,
and
with Mark
Okay.
and Steve, yeah.
stretching?
I'm so
and-
glad I
Well, it's
started.
kind of everything, right? Because, it's
Yes.
the drums. It's
Oh.
all of the exercise in the pool. It's 2 workouts on the video. It is, it's
Yeah.
all things.
Yes.
Right.
It's working on the box for her shoulder.
The box, yeah.
Exercise with nutrition. We're running out of time. We need another episode because I
Yeah,
think
this
what
is
you've done
so
in that
great.
building of making better choices around your nutrition is paid off in everything that
Yes.
you're doing physically. I mean, you're making such wise decisions with
Right.
replacing this, I want this, and being
Yeah.
an advocate because of Friday lectures and getting some knowledge of what you're allowed to do
What
on this
you-
campus
Yeah,
with
and I
nutrition.
I have 3 sons, so I was eating pizza
Mm.
and wings
Yeah, well, and
all the time.
your
Chinese food.
attitude.
Yes.
I mean, we see that as happening all the time. Okay, I've got to ask because I like to ask everybody, how is the hot and cold?
Oh my gosh, that is painful.
It's painful, but
It's
do you
painful,
like
but
the
if
fact
it-
that you
yes.
feel
My arms were just so sore from all the work.
Yeah.
Even if with the noodle,
Yeah.
it's hard. Believe
Yeah.
me, it's hard.
Yeah.
And a ball
in the
just a
pool you're
simple
talking
ball.
about, right?
Well, I'm
do you
not.
get in the pool
She's
yet?
not in the water yet.
No.
But she comes
but
to
the
every
noodle,
pool
yeah.
and uses it on the side.
side.
She's on the side of the pool with
Yes.
us,
And
doing
I'm-
everything.
And they're all looking at me, and I'm going.
It's amazing.
Good for
It-
you. You
they're
know
all
what?
It's an
It
inspiration.
starts right there.
But see,
Yeah.
what's cool is
And
the
it
hot
feels so
cold. We're
good.
not doing the feet. We're doing her hands.
Yeah. We're
So
doing-
she's putting her
right.
hands in the ice
We
and in
have
the
to
heat,
have her back.
and it is. I know. I just. Oh, there's so much I want to talk
Oh,
about.
yeah.
We're gonna make a part 2 because
Yes, I want to
everything
hear.
you're
Oh my
doing
gosh,
is
I
the
have so many
inspiration for that
stories.
building. I'm telling
Everybody wants to do what I'm doing.
I'm so proud of you.
Oh my gosh, they're just jealous. They're like, oh, I'm jealous because I want to go. I want to go. And I told them, well, it's kind of late right now. We already started class, you know. So.
Yeah, but look at you. You are changing lives by living your best life.
Gloria, you're amazing.
Yes.
All
We
right.
are out of time. We're going to do a part 2 because there's so much more
Right.
inspiration from this amazing lady. Thank you for
Yes.
joining us,
Thank
Gloria.
you for having me. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Oh, amazing.
See you
Yeah.
next week.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you so much.